Welcome to the Sold Too Early Sports Card Podcast, listing every item as a steal when really it's over comps. That's Kai. Sure, that card is clean, bro. And welcome to episode 34 of the podcast. A little different today. But first, Kai, how the hell you doing? That's the intro.
I'm doing good. It's summertime. Nice weather out. It hasn't rained in a couple days, so that's a new record for Florida.
That is pretty crazy, actually, for Florida. So,
I know.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm good. It's actually been really nice here in New Jersey. We actually have dinner plans right after the podcast. So today's episode is going to be 30, maybe 40 minutes. We're going to be a little more direct with things, which is perfectly fine. Honestly, there's not too much going on in the sports card world right now because there's no major shows going on. We had a friend actually who set up at like the San Francisco show or whatever they would exactly call that. It was like 300 tables. He said that Justin Field was so hot at that show, like they couldn't keep him in stock, and they did very well, which is exciting. So it is good to see like not regional shows, but larger local-ish shows that people who do this full time will travel to if it's reasonable. But like it's not Dallas, it's not Chicago, it's not Atlanta, it's not even Nashville. You know, we talk shit about it. But this is a solid, great show if you're an hour and a half away, even 2.5 hours away, and you could drive there versus like, hey, you'll take a 6-hour flight. You know what I mean? Like that might not work.
Yeah, flights are getting so expensive too. If you can drive to a show, it's almost like a no-brainer. Like, why would you not just go, you know?
I mean, the thing is, too, I pay for like first class almost every time I fly. At a minimum, economy plus, because in my brain, this shit is a lot, and I want to be comfortable. I am not a very fancy person. I'm not wearing Gucci bags or Supreme shorts. Like, dude, I will rock a t-shirt and jeans for the rest of my life, but I don't like to fly. So I choose to spend my money on, like, nice things like that or, like, healthy-ish kind of foods as opposed to, like, items. Now, let's ignore the fact that I spent a ton of money on a 24 by 48 lithograph of Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, and Wayne Gretzky. Let's ignore that fact for 2 minutes, but you know, it's.
You could have spent it worse. Come on.
You
could have bought something way. You could have bought something way worse for that. Come on.
Yeah, I know. So that's an all cash deal. Meeting up with my friend at some point in time. He already transferred to me. You're actually running it on consignment for me, which is awesome because what I've realized about this too, even though you and Joku work together and you're affiliated together, like we're all friends, so it's just beneficial to use your service. That's not to say that, oh, I will never use DC again, but you fit a role within your hobby that is very like niche in a perfect way because you guys like to deal with high quality and memorabilia, which is stuff that I generally seem to have. And when I have low end and I don't want to list it myself, I'll go send it to DC because they're fucking amazing too and they deserve my business. I'm not sure if you saw this post, Kai. I'm sure Joku probably sent it immediately to you. It was their eBay store, and I had like $13 million worth of business in the last 90 days, which is absurd. And I can actually real quick pull it up because I have Instagram open on my second monitor. But that's bulletin board material. I know you guys are not anywhere near that, but no one is. But I'm sure it keeps you in like the back of your mind, like, hey, we've done so well, but there's so much more we can do.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I wonder, I kind of briefly have an idea like what their overhead looks like. 'Cause they have a shit ton of employees in office, all that, you know, but
this is fucking absurd. This is stupid numbers. Good for them. I mean, once again, they have earned everything they've done and more. I can actually see the total funds. They kind of scribbled it out, but not really. This is insane. Like, I can't believe this.
Just even the almost 400,000 items in 3 months, like that's
and
I don't
12
even know what that is,
cancellations.
like a week
dude.
or like a day or something. Like that's crazy.
Do you know how many employees they have roughly?
I don't want to say a number because I don't really know. I would guess probably like between 20 and 40 if I had to guess.
That's so. I have to imagine it's more. Like,
I don't think so. I mean, it's just mostly sorting and picking like the cards, you know, and then listing, obviously.
It's so crazy. Like, this is it breaks the mold of what consignment is. I mean, there's so many different services within our hobbies. Some are good, some are bad, some are in between. People have their favorites. Obviously, I'm a little partial to Kai and Joku. I'm a little partial to DC, and you know what? They get results.
That's not really an issue for anyone. Like, use different companies. You don't have to be completely loyal to someone. Like, I totally agree with your point saying like the DC is perfect for like the shit we don't want to take. Like, there's
Exactly
no
it.
issue there.
You fill your role, and you're very good at that. That's not to say you can't expand beyond that, but dude, I've been on Instagram for 7 years. Guess what people know me as? The dickhead who's pretty fair when it comes to deals and will always be fair when it comes to negotiating. And that's my role. And I can tell you there are some people who don't fit roles at all, who are really bad at what they do, and kind of sort of don't even watch sports. And they're buying quantities and qualities of cards that are asinine if you put it into like logical terms. It's really scary.
You know what I've seen lately on eBay is like, for some reason, Matt Corral is like getting a little bit of steam.
That's the Panthers guy, right?
Yeah.
Why?
But they signed like a vet too, didn't they?
They signed Andy Dalton, I believe.
Yes, they have Dalton, Bryce Young. I mean, no one's out there posting like to buy Matt Corral. I'm just saying from like eBay auctions and stuff, they're going pretty strong compared to like.
Now, I could understand it if Dalton was hurt. Or Bryce Young. I mean, I guess the idea is possibly that Bryce Young is gonna not be ready.
Yeah,
or there's 5'9" and little and can't play quarterback, and the Panthers are fucked up, which is a different conversation.
I don't see them not starting the guy they picked first overall.
They have to. I mean, whether it's like 3 games in or 5 games in or even week 1, like Bryce Young's gonna be the quarterback. So to see Matt Corral go up, I mean. Okay,
but my thought is, when was the last time the number 1 overall pick was a quarterback and they didn't start week 1?
Good question, actually.
Has that ever happened?
100% has not happened. I mean, it definitely has happened where people not started. QB is drafted first overall. I actually don't know off the top of my head who was the last. Goff, maybe?
Goff?
No, Goff was not the first. Kyler, 2019.
Goff was first, wasn't he? Or was he second?
He was first because Wentz went second.
He started, though, didn't he?
I'm pulling up a list. Peyton Manning, I know, started. Tim Couch, Michael Vick, I believe, started week 1. David Carr died for his sins of being drafted.
Did Alex Smith start right away?
I believe Alex Smith started right away.
Jamarcus Russell?
This is I know Jameis did. There's Goff. Baker absolutely no. Baker didn't. Baker came in because Tyrod Taylor got hurt.
I think that was Herbert, wasn't it?
It was a lot.
Or was it both of them?
Yeah, 13 games. So it was Baker.
That's crazy.
Kyler, I know, played 16. Joe Burrow, did he play every game his rookie year?
He missed the end of his rookie year because
he got hurt. I don't know if he started week 1. I imagine so then.
I would think so, yeah. I think he wasn't very great at the beginning of the season.
Box score. Yeah, it was Burrow. Yeah. Okay. So I believe it was Baker Mayfield was the first overall pick to not start week 1.
Yeah. So, I mean, Bryce Young, the odds of him not coming out, even if he's the worst out of the 3 guys, like the odds of him not starting week 1 is pretty low.
I mean, once again, for what they had to give up anyway to draft him, I could understand the rationale being like, hey, he's not ready versus, hey, we put so much fucking into this guy, we have to play him right away.
Yeah.
So I can see the argument. Yeah. They'll know by, honestly, probably the first or second preseason game. You'll know who's starting based on who plays.
They would get torched in the media for what they traded to not start him, even if
he's not ready, then he's not ready. But you do have to find out. Whoever starts that second preseason game will probably be the starter.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what else? Because I know we have a little bit of an abbreviated agenda. So, well, we'll do the grading thing first because we were looking at Instagram. So I saw something a couple days ago at this point that was really interesting. Oh, this is actually yesterday. Wow. So at the time of recording,
It
today's
was,
Tuesday.
yeah, that's crazy.
Not Monday. This is from Dan the Card Man. And basically, it is a write-up of the trends of grading in just the month of April 2023 compared to May. So month over month increases or decreases. There's a couple things here that are really shocking. First off, I mean, sure, it's a little alarming. The PSA's down 18%, but without having a trend of like year over year or any other information, I'm not really worried about that. And ironically enough, in my 9 to 5 job, I work with a lot of data. This does not really shock me.
Well, you know what's also crazy about that is like we say, oh, I mean they're down based on the numbers, but like 1 million cards in a month is down. Like, come on, that's a lot of cards.
You need more information here. What is
Yeah.
more shocking, truthfully, I don't care how you slice this information, the fact that Beckett is 4th at 66,000 cards.
Well, going up.
And going up, you're right, Kai.
Yeah.
Is super concerning. And I think this really does drive home the point that Beckett is, even though it's growing right now, it is dying in a way. Because no one wants to fucking grade with their services. You're 4th behind CGS, CCG. What the fuck is this shit? Who cares what this is? Like, what?
Yeah, I don't really have like a good explanation either. I mean, the only thing I can think of is, first of all, resale value compared to, but then even SGC and CS whatever, like they don't sell either. The only other thing I can think of is like customer service / wait times. Like Beckett's so slacking in those. Like their app sucks, their website sucks. Like
once again, that's what kills them. Because PSA has opened 2 grading services now. They're in one in California and one here in Jersey City.
They have a Canada one too, I think.
Oh, they do? Awesome. Even better. There you go. So they're able to obviously feed the massive demand they have. And even if these cards are junk, it doesn't actually matter at the end of the day because someone is paying the $20, the $30, the $40, or even up to the $500 to $1,000 to grade this item. And one person or one company is able to fulfill that need. Look who it is. It's PSA, who I've been saying for a while is the king right now of grading. That's not shocking because the numbers are right here.
Bold prediction.
I know, right? Go figure. Hey, bold prediction. The Kansas City Chiefs are pretty good at football, and Patrick Mahomes is pretty good. But the point I want to make is that I have never actively sought in the last 2, 3, 4 years to grade with Beckett because I'm basically saying to myself, hey, I want to lose more money if I can't grade this card with PSA. Now, Beckett does fill a need because cards that are thicker, like patch autos from NT or Immaculate or anything like that, kind of belong in Beckett slabs, not PSA where they're fucking ugly and gross and don't look right. Beckett kind of works better for the thicker NT patch autos, flawless if you grade that for whatever reason, Immaculate, impeccable possibly. Like, it works for those thicker type cards. But with so many more being thin 30 point, 60 point cards, PSA works better.
Yeah, I think I don't know if the word's like better. I think they just are more lenient.
Lenient, sure. I mean, also once again, resale value wise, because sports cards are so interesting in the fact that a lot of people do not actually watch sports or do not watch it to the degree that they probably should to be an informed buyer. And I'm even guilty of that occasionally. I buy some soccer stuff. I don't really watch a ton of it, but I'm starting to learn more, mostly through FIFA and my friends who love soccer and everything like that. But I can admit when I don't know a ton. I bought a UFC lot for $800 3 days ago. I like UFC. I don't know enough about it, but guess what? I see numbers. I know what to buy. Like it's pretty straightforward. But those are pennies compared to what some people will drop on.
That lot was crazy, dude.
That lot was a crazy deal.
Where do you find these people?
So I'll answer that in a second. $800 is pennies compared to what people will put into Bowman Chrome Prospects or basketball, NTRPAs, or anyone else who they might not even watch that team. Like I put out an Instagram story today about, hey, name 3 players on the Cincinnati Reds. Half my followers who have answered at this point in time couldn't do that. It's scary because if Ellie De La
I
Cruz
can't do it.
What? They can't do it.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't
Dude,
name 3 Reds.
It's scary. It really is. Now, to go back to what you asked me, where did I find that lot? It got sent to me. Someone literally, the person who posted it was like, "Hey, I need money. Do you want this lot?" I'm like, "Okay," and I bought it. Like, being on Instagram since 2016, maybe 2017, whatever it is, and not changing my name or my logo, and like really not being a piece of shit. I mean, I'm kind of a dickhead online, even in person, but like,
the bar is on the floor.
What'd you say?
I said the bar is on the floor.
Yeah. So by being me and being consistent in what I do and growing what I have, people know that I'm available to answer. I answer every DM, dude. I really do. There are some buyers who can't or won't answer you. I really am trying to like be that quick when I can. Obviously, I have a life and I sleep occasionally and I work probably, so I can't be as available 24/7. But I'm really good at getting back to people, and I people like me. I don't know why, but it works. And by building that brand and that awareness of who I am and what I do, I don't really have to make buying posts as much anymore. Like Mikey or Tyler, Mikey's Car Top Corner, whatever his fucking numbers are, will hit me up occasionally like, "Hey man, you want to buy 20K worth of stuff?" Like, okay, like, here, you go make some money, because then they'll make money off me when they bought that lot for 13.5 and they charge me 15.5 and I net 3K in profit. We can all win occasionally, and it's gotten to the point now where I don't have to make buying posts as much or as often anymore. I still can and will, but not nearly as much as I had to 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Yeah. I think that's, I mean, just by helping people and kind of making them make money and then just making money from result of that, like, people are going to come back to you. I mean, it can, because you buy like basically everything. I mean, you're not going to be picky about it really. You'll be picky, but not to the point. Like that UFC lot, there's probably $25 cards in there, but you took them.
Probably.
Yeah. And you'll just send them to consignment or whatever.
Yeah, I'll give them to DC,
like,
or I'll just fucking nut up and do it myself. Dude, on my desk right now is 60, 70 cards that I process myself and I put on eBay. And I remember being like 22-ish, like not having a girlfriend, being like, "I can't wait to list all 300 items I have on my desk. I'm so excited." Now I'm like, "Oh man, I fucking rather die. I don't want to do this." My apathy level has gone so much higher as like, I'm like, man, I don't want to do this shit anymore. And I used to think consignment was stupid when I was younger. And now I think it's the greatest thing in the world.
How do you kind of differentiate like when to keep trying to move something yourself or send it off to like just auction, like get rid of it?
I think when it goes through a couple show cycles and it doesn't move, like a lot of the inventory that sent you and Joku after Dallas was dead inventory and stuff that I either had owned too long or was just like, "Hey, I got this for nothing. Fuck it. Put it on consignment. Let's see what happens." And the 5K that I netted 4,500, whatever exactly was, I took a loss on items, which is completely fine because I either bought them a year or two ago or I waited too long or the market obviously went down. But it's okay. I can afford to lose there to have the ability to come back and break even or win in the next deal. And that's the thing that people need to focus on more, is if you win more often than you lose, even if it's not as high percentages, you can continue to come back and build stronger. Like, I'm waiting right now to buy more stuff, not only because I'm worried about the lithograph, which I'm not, because it's fucking dope. And if it doesn't move a consignment with you guys, I'm probably going to give it to Ken Golden and that company, which I don't love. But guess what? I have it in there. I know who to give it to. And they'll run it at auction. And as long as it breaks, I think 16.5, I'll make money. And the last sale was 22. So there's enough wiggle room there where even if I'm not crushing it and hitting a home run, but I hit a double and I make 3K in 2 months, if it doesn't move with consignment with you guys, I get 25. Who fucking cares? Move on with it. I don't really worry about it because I can continue to constantly turn stuff over, where that money might be tied up for 2 to 3 months, but oh well. It'll come back in profit down the line when I need it more.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of starting to see like kind of your process, but like if you can take like a 5K item and flip it for like 6 or 7K, it's so much nicer and like less work than flipping 10 $500 cards to make $1,000. You know, it's just like one card in your box, one package to ship, you know.
It
Almost
depends.
like,
I've seen both sides of the coin because obviously, if you look at my Instagram right now or anytime, whenever I post, I'm always trying to break items down, which is perfectly okay with me. I like having the 10 $5 items, I like having the one 10K item. It just allows me to be flexible and sustain more growth than someone who needs to only have like flawless RPAs or needs to only own $25,000 cards. Because by playing both sides, ironically, I do always come out on top, which is, you know, the always sunny quote, but it's true. If you play the both sides of the lower end and the higher end world, someone will give you more value. Like if I, for instance, had like this Vince Carter Insanity card, which I won on eBay auction because it ended at 12 o'clock at noon, and you're fucking stupid for doing that. But I won it all in for $1,400. Someone gives me $1,750 cash and trade. Okay, like move on, like take it and reinvest that into something else. Maybe that $1,750 can grow into $2K or $2,300 or $2,700, or you keep moving and growing it. And it covers up some losses that you might take if you held an item too long. So,
yeah, I guess there's like benefits and cons to both sides of it. And I mean, I don't think you really have to be on either side of it. I'm sure you do. You obviously do both. Like,
I think you can
just
do
interesting.
one or the other, but you have to understand the risks and pros of it.
Yeah.
Now, the lower end, you have a lot more liquidity because, hey, a $50 card is a lot easier to move.
Do you though?
$5,000. Yeah, I mean, you might have to sell it on eBay auction or consignment, but you can easily move it. If you have a
but it's liquid,
card,
but you might be taking a fat L on it.
well, if you trade it for it at $40, you sell it for 45. You know what I mean? I'm not telling you to go buy LeBron James Prisms from 2019 or 2018, whenever it was like his first Lakers one, and they dropped like 98%. So,
yeah, that's true.
You know, a $50 card now would be, I don't know, what's a Luka Prism 9 going for? $100 if you
Like
75?
If yeah.
Like if you bought those at 65 to 70% comps, yeah, you can fucking make money all day. But guess what? It's gonna be $10, $15.
Yeah.
Which to some people, honestly, dude, not that fucking bad. You know, I work a real-time job as well as doing cards. If I made $15 for listing a card that took me 2 minutes to buy,
yeah, exactly.
sell and flip, all right, that's like 30 minutes of real work after taxes. Fuck it, I don't care. Like,
yeah, when you put it into perspective like that, like realistically, from the time you buy a card, open the package, scan it, list it, and then pack it up, you're probably into a card. What, 10 minutes?
I would say about 5 to 10 minutes per card, which is perfectly fine. I mean, obviously, you're envisioning making more than $10 profit on an item.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you make $20 on that one card, times the bare minimum 6, that's $120 an hour. I mean,
yeah, you're right. That's
like.
So there is a conversation about this, and part of why, and I actually had this conversation with someone today. I'm not going to name them. I'm not sure they're going to listen to the podcast anyway, but they were asking because they're a young college graduate who was working not a dead end job, like their first real job. Like, hey, fuck this, I want to do cards full time. I get it. I really do. I sit at my job now, and I love what I do most of the time. I'm like, man, I fucking just want to go play with trading cards all day. I don't want to do this shit. But by having a real job and knowing that I can afford to eat and pay my rent and like support my fiance and, you know, my fucking wedding that will eventually come up. Okay, my trading cards I can be dumb with and stupid and understand that I can still live even if this goes tits up, which it obviously has for a lot of people who lost 6 figures on insert random card here pre-pandemic to now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, for you too, it's like you're not even in a spot where it's like, oh, if the football market crashes, like you're fucked. Like you do like a variety, so it's like you're never going to be cornered into the spot where like, oh shit, I need to sell everything to like not lose my ass, you know?
Well, that's the scary thing too, and that's also why I think I got the lithograph for what I did, because I'll just say I'm into a 14K cash, which is fine. Like whatever. The last sale is 22. If I sell for 17.5, awesome. But like, if you do that math, what percentage of eBay is that? Not eBay. That's 70%. Like, what the fuck? Let's say that price is fully realized. I get 20K cash out of it somehow, some way. What? Like, that is literally 2 months of full pay after taxes
That's wild.
at my job. And I don't make 20,
Yep.
I don't make 30 grand. I make a little bit more, but it's just absurd when you say it like that out loud. And that's one item.
Yeah, I mean, if you can stack a couple of those, like
It
I mean, that's
covers a
just-
whole lot of hurt.
It's just
But
crazy.
guess what, dude?
Yeah.
Other than paying my rent with that, I can pay for a vacation with my fiance, or I can go pay for national or a fancy dinner or anything, because I don't have to do this full time. If you have the
Yep.
ability to balance it accordingly and like live your life, it sounds like a pretty fucking sweet gig.
Yeah, it does. I mean, how much time realistically do you think you have to put into it? I mean, maybe search eBay, Instagram for a couple hours a day and list and ship them. Like, I mean, just in comparison to like a
I
normal,
do
like,
most of
I
my
don't
work associated with sports cards through my lunch breaks. So like if I have to ship
Mhm.
something or package it, list stuff, I might work during my 9 to 5 job if like it goes a little bit over, but like generally my 9 to 5 job is done during my 9 to 5 job. And then I'll answer DMs during work, I'll hang out because I'm obviously remote. It's as long as my work is not suffering due to my sports cards, my sports cards not suffering due to my work, it's okay.
That's
I can't
perfect.
tell you
Yeah.
there's a perfect balance, and obviously some people are obviously in an office or working at a shop, right, or Kmart, or they exist still and like can't be on their phone, which is perfectly fine as well. But then you balance it. You give yourself the ability to either quote unquote work harder or hashtag grinding for those potential profits, but you're able to balance it to your ability. Like I've worked shitty jobs in the past where I couldn't play on my phone. Oh no, how horrible. David can't play on his phone during work. But you balance that shit. I used to fucking commute into New York City for an hour and a half each way. And that's when I did most of my deals. That you build that time in somehow, some way, and you just make it work for yourself. I can't tell you what will work, but I can tell you that
Gotta
this
figure
is
it
a lot
out.
more. Cards are a lot more fun and a lot better when you don't have to worry about like waking up at 3 a.m. like, oh shit, something fucking happened. I gotta sell everything right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of an interesting one. I have one more note, and then we're gonna end the podcast a little earlier today. I can go on this for a while, but I got dinner planned, so forgive me. We had a question come in before we recorded about how it seems as though every cycle, every year, the last couple of weeks before the national, prices seem to dip. I don't necessarily know if that's going to be true this year, because I think a ton of stuff is spiking in preparation of the national.
Yeah.
And I've said this a few times, and Kai, I know you're going to hate me when I keep on repeating this, especially on the young quarterback stuff. If you're the one owning them, week one, when they're jogging onto the field, in my opinion, you're fucked, because it's going to be really hard to move those items unless they come out week one and Trevor Lawrence throws for 4 touchdowns, or Justin Fields scrambles for 200 yards, or other overhyped Trey Lance somehow plays week one, which I don't see happening. You're building up these expectations where it's just not going to work. And then by week like 3 or 4 or 5, they're going to look human, most likely, or unfortunately get injured, or even worse, look average. If you're bad, that's one thing. The worst thing you could be in sports cards is average. Like, that is the worst you could ever do for whatever reason. Like, being bad, people still believe in you and like buy into
even like good, that's even a bad thing sometimes. Like, it's not good enough.
Yeah. Dude, how many young quarterbacks would fucking kill for like Dak Prescott's worst season?
A lot.
A lot
of them, pretty much.
Yeah, and Dak gets no hot buff. And I'm a Giants fan. Fuck the Cowboys. Fuck Dak Prescott. But guess what? If you could have the season that Dak did, which I think was like 22 touchdowns, like 15 interceptions last year, which is not good. It's not good at all. He also missed like 5 games. But if Desmond Ritter type or Sam Howell had those numbers this year, their prices would spike exponentially because it would check, oh, he's got promise. He's so good. He could do all these things.
Yep.
Fucking, like, what? And some of them won't even hit that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone's out there like, oh, I'm going to hold all my quarterback stuff into the season. If they are, they're just stupid. But
Yep.
you really, if you do that, I feel like you just got to maybe sell everything but one of the more premium cards. Maybe like a little, like a hedge on your bet, kind of, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's risky business holding your quarterback stuff into the season unless you don't have a care in the world. But
or you're in stuff for nothing. Like I have friends who own the home stuff in 2017. Good shit. Fucking hold that stuff forever, man. That's your retirement.
Yep. Exactly.
But yeah, unfortunately, gonna have to wrap it up there. It's a little bit of a abbreviated episode for me. I gotta fucking go. We will obviously continue this conversation next week. And then not the next episode, but the following episode, we actually already have our guest lined up. It's someone who I've known for quite a while. Really someone who I'm very fortunate to invite on. We'll discuss that next week. The episode will be recorded well before it launches, but I'm excited to announce something. So not quitting my job or anything like that. So don't put that out there. But like something exciting that we're really looking forward to on the Soul Too Early podcast. So thank you guys for watching or listening. I gotta run.
Peace.